Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emerald Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Tab Lab with your hosts Mickey Kilburn and myself, Neil Grosshider, to give you guys some awesome insight into some amazing topics with a little bit of banter, kind of back and forth, the S word and tacos and all that stuff. I didn't say it, so I don't owe you a taco.
I'm waiting.
I'm,
I got my pen to make notes anytime you say the S word.
We're probably going to be saying it this one or the next few. It's just going to happen.
We'll see who says it first.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, but today's topic, what we're going to talk about is the identity crisis of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
This is something, man, nobody tells you a lot whenever you start a business. Like nobody ever says how hard it is. Nobody ever says that there's going to be so many things that you have to do and you just don't have time and all these other things. But the identity crisis is something that you never expect. And It's something that nobody ever talks about anyway.
Yeah.
It just happens and then it's just there.
Yeah.
So it's just something that we have to learn to deal with and kind of have to learn to kind of go about. But why don't we talk about this stuff?
It's true. We don't. And we get so wrapped up in who we are and our successes and failures. This is a big deal. It really is. And people don't understand how big it is. So, Neil, what would you give a good definition of identity crisis?
So the way I see identity crisis is the entrepreneur, the business owner cannot separate themselves from their business. So when you talk to them, when you see them out and about at church, when you see them at the park with the family, when you see them at a restaurant or a bar or whatever, you can't just say, hey man, how's it going? We start giving an elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Business is going good. This is what's going on with this. We're starting this new thing, introducing this new line, whatever it is. They cannot separate themselves from the business. So the business becomes their identity.
Yeah.
And then it also leads to the success or failure of that person because they identify with the business and the business is doing great. They're doing great. But if the business is not doing so great, they are not doing so great. So it just becomes this vicious cycle and it's all in one and there's no separation.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're at church and somebody comes up to you and go, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. And instead of telling them about you, your wife or family or anything, you start talking about your business. You do your elevator spill. I mean, that is 100% what we're talking about with identity crisis, and that you are a business owner. You are not the business.
That's exactly it. And I mean, I get it. It's hard. Like when you start something, when you become passionate about something, you start this business. Well, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about anything else. You want to talk about the business because right now that's your life. That's what you are doing and most focused on and you're most excited about or you're most terrified about, whatever it may be. But we never break the cycle up.
Yeah.
We just start it and do it. And that's it.
Yeah. As entrepreneurs, we spend so much time, effort, and energy. When you start a business, everybody tells you that you can count on working 60 hours, working at odd hours, working whenever you can. And that leads exactly to this moment where you are the business and everything that becomes a business is you. And this is where we lead into, if the business is not doing well, we take that upon ourselves as in, I'm a failure, when that is not even the case, is it?
No, not even close. It's not at all true. So when you talk to somebody like at church and you're asking them how things are going, what do you usually get? Like what are the normal responses that you usually hear?
Yeah. You don't hear, hey, my business is good. You hear, oh, my family, this, that, my hobbies, fishing, whatever they are, golf, whatever.
Yeah. But it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different in the entrepreneurial world.
It is. It is. And that's where, we talked about this in our previous podcast with the life, health, and business. And
Mhm.
this is a big piece of that, being able to say, hey, I'm not all my business. I mean, we want to be successful. Nobody wants to say, hey, I started a business and it didn't work.
Yep.
Or, I started my second business and didn't work. And we know statistically, it's the fourth or fifth business that you start that's going to be successful. So if that's the case, your first 3 or 4 that fail, not that they will, but if they do, that doesn't mean you're a failure. Just like Edison and the light bulb. How many times did he work on the light bulb before he got it right?
Yeah, he found out 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That didn't make a failure. As a matter of
No.
fact, when I was a little kid, the elementary school that I went to was Thomas A. Edison. I went to that school. So we're still talking about him, and he's been gone for a long time. So he wasn't a failure as a person. He
Correct.
was trying to do things. And our business is the same way. If we don't hit our financial goals each quarter, does that make us failures as people?
I mean, does it if you identify as your business?
It can, yeah. It can be very harmful. And if you view yourself in that way, it's going to bleed over to how you feel at your home. Do you feel, I'm a failure and I'm not supporting my family, or I should just get a 9-to-5 job because I'm hurting my family because I'm a failure?
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a book that's called 3 Feet from Gold. And the book is talking about not stopping when you were 3 feet from the gold mine. I mean, I don't want to go into the whole book about it, but the guy sold the mine after he bought this mine, and he's digging and he's digging and he's digging and he's spent all this money, time, and effort, and he didn't hit the gold. He sold the mine, and the next person that bought it dug for 3 feet and they hit gold.
Yeah.
And so that can be, it can weigh on us when we don't succeed all the time in our business, but it doesn't mean that you're a bad father or a bad husband. We're not bad people just because the business isn't doing as good as we think it should be, because we have this perception that we should be IBM from the gate.
Yeah. And which never happens.
Mm-mm.
Ever. Like
Mm-mm.
all companies take a while to get going, to start up, at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Like to even just get anything moving. And if you're developing this identity crisis within those first 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
how terrible of a person do you feel then? Because it's just not working how it should. It's just not going. This is one of those big things where it's really prominent when we see it as business coaches, and I'm sure you've seen this too. When you go in and talk to our clients, or you just talk to people, we have meetings with people who aren't even our clients. They're not even tab members.
Mm-hmm.
And, we are both high I's in the DISC profile.
Mm-hmm.
So we come in and it's, hey, how's your weekend? What's going on? Do you have anything planned? How's the family? And if they are not a high I and they have this identity crisis, it's only business.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't say anything else besides business.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does to them as a person, you can see it mentally in their face. Like you can see it physically in their face, but then mentally when you're talking to them, they're just so drained.
Yeah.
They have nothing else to give because they're giving it all to the business,
mm-hmm.
which then translates to, like you said, their life and their health.
Yeah, it does. And, with that identity crisis, it's kind of another part of that is comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So, we look at, for example, I'm being a realtor too, I look at, business is kind of slow because that's what's happening right now. But then you see there's other agents that are getting all these deals, are still closing all these homes and stuff. And you can't compare yourself to other people because your path is not their path. And this is like, and I'm going to do it. This is like tacos. Not every taco is the same. They're different. You might have a chicken taco or a steak taco or ground beef taco. I don't like cilantro, a lot of it, so I don't put that on mine. But
so good.
I know, right? But all those tacos are amazing and delicious. We can't compare ourselves because our paths are always different. But that imposter syndrome, not imposter syndrome, that's our coming up episode.
That is. That's what we could talk about next.
Yeah. But that identity crisis that we have, we put self-worth into that business. And you look at somebody else and go, man, they have gone so far in their business and I haven't.
Mhm.
I'm a failure. I'm not doing things right. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. You have no idea. Maybe they had a huge influx of capital to start, or maybe they knew 15, 20 different people that they got as customers before they even started because of who they knew. Each person has different paths.
They do. And Mickey, you brought up a really good point with realtors. And I'm going to pick on realtors because you're a realtor, so I'm going to pick on you anyway. But I used to be a realtor. I still do referral stuff. So I can do this. I feel confident I can say this stuff. But realtors are the worst when it comes to identity crisis.
Oh, yes.
You cannot talk to a single realtor in Pensacola, at least,
Mm-hmm.
will not tell you they are a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
They will not tell you, or you can't talk to them without them saying, do you know anybody looking to buy or sell? Are you
Yep.
looking to buy or sell?
Oh, yeah.
It just, they are so ingrained in this identity crisis, they can't even recognize it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where like this needs to start happening, is because it's kind of what we're doing right now, bringing focus to it, but then helping people understand how to identify that they are in this identity crisis in the first place, like self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any ways that you've helped people or mentioned to people that they have or are in this identity crisis?
Yeah. But real quick, there's that joke about realtors. If you meet somebody for the first time, how do you know if they're a realtor?
They'll tell you.
Wait 5 minutes and they'll tell you. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. That's exactly right.
It's the same joke with pilots.
Yeah.
Same
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Navy, Air Force, they're the same.
It doesn't matter.
They will tell you so.
Yes, they will.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast there, but back to your question, some of the things that you can do is remember your three-legged stool.
Mhm.
Need to separate the business. You need to focus on the other sides of your life in general. Just get a hobby, play golf, get out and play golf. If you like to fish, go fish, whatever you like to do, or just go out and have a whiskey and a taco, whatever, but do some separation of you and the business. And remember that even though it is your business, your baby, at the end of the day, it is a job, it is an income, and you need to separate from that. You don't see people have a 9-to-5 job, fret over their job all weekend long, do they?
Nope, they don't care. They're off the clock.
That's right. And we need to learn as entrepreneurs that, hey, we got to get off the clock.
Yeah. It's funny. Whenever Corey and I used to do real estate, we would take date nights. We'd go out and we'd get a sitter. We'd go out, have a nice date night. And we would make it a thing at the beginning of the date night. We're not going to talk about work. Okay.
Mhm.
So then all we would do is talk about Eleanor.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we stopped talking about that, guess what we talked about? Real estate.
Yep.
We could not separate it ourselves. And we even recognized it and we still couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a thing of like, oh my gosh, like we're sitting here having a nice dinner, talking about our lovely family, how much we love our kids and love each other and just love the life that we have. And then it was like, we get done eating dinner, we're drinking some wine. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, did you send that contract?
Yeah.
Like, oh, and then we didn't even catch each other.
Yeah.
We just ran with it. And then that was the rest of the conversation. We just continued to talk about work or rant about work.
Yeah. You said you talk about date night, and I have used that in my coaching sessions. I had one just this week when I said to the entrepreneur, I said, hey, make sure that you guys are having date night. And the comment back to me was, oh, hey, our relationship's good. I said, no. Date night is not just about making sure your relationships stay intact. but there is a recharging that happens when you have those date nights. When you go out with Corey, when I go out with Tanya, and we have date nights, we don't have issues in our marriages, but those date nights, I recharge when it's just my wife and I, when it's just Tanya and I.
Yep.
And you know what our date nights consist of, a lot of times we go out and eat, and then we like, oh, you know, we're getting a break from work, we're getting a break from kids. And what do we do after all that? We go shopping for the kids. I don't know how it happens every time. We go start buying stuff for the kids after date night, you know. So date
But
night
that,
is not just about that relationship, it's about that recharging, that breakaway,
yeah,
and just having that, because my wife has that unique way of just recharging me, and I can be so depleted feeling that weight. And I know Corey's the same way because she keeps you in line.
she does constantly keeps me in line, which I need. It's valid.
Maybe it's time for another date night for you guys. You
think-
guys need to go out
I
again.
think it needs to be another date night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell her. It'll be a surprise. But I think those are really good points, because like what you're bringing up is, it's something different that entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
either they're really good about separating work and life, or they're not.
Mhm.
Again, it's that S word, that's in tacos
Tacos.
that happens. Yeah, it's that thing that happens. So then everything just kind of comes together, and that's all they can talk about. That's all they can do. In a date night, hopefully, even if they don't have a date night, just going out with buddies,
Yes.
separating it.
Non-business buddies.
Correct.
Just buddies. Like you last week just did that.
You know what's something funny? I just did that last week. Guess who had to do some work on Friday?
Uh-oh. No, you didn't.
I did. Some stuff popped up. People were kind of like, hey, we need this like now. I can't figure this out. I'm just like, this will take like 5 minutes. Getting ready to hop on a canoe. Let me figure this out real fast.
Yep.
But then again, I immediately separated it.
Yep.
Like, you know, my buddies took my truck back to the campsite because they have my keys. And they're like, Neil, what are you doing? I was like, I got to knock this out real fast. It'll take me like 5 minutes. I'll walk the half mile back to the campsite. And I get back and they're like, you had work to do? Lame. And that was it.
Exactly.
Right? Like it was complete break at that point. So
Yes.
I didn't talk about what I had to do. I didn't go into anything. It was just like, I'm going to live in this moment,
Mhm.
not make that moment come to this.
Yep.
This is my time to break away.
Yep.
kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And you know, it's important too to go back, you know, a little bit back to some of our previous stuff where your number two is
Mhm.
important for them to know. Like when we both know our schedules to a T, I knew you were gone. And, you know, when I had stuff come up, I was like, this is not important. And I didn't text you. They were emails because I knew you were spotty out there, because I didn't want that to come in your mind. And I know you, and it goes beyond being in business like this. It's because we're friends. You would have answered me if I texted you.
I would have. Yep.
And the truth was that there wasn't anything that couldn't wait till you got out of your canoe.
Yeah. Yep. But that's just, it is like, I mean, we can call me out like right now, like the
Mhm.
identity is, because as an entrepreneur, I'm always focused on ways to better the business, ways to provide more value to our members, ways to get more members, ways to
Mhm.
do whatever we need, right? And it's like, where do I separate?
Yeah.
How do I separate?
Mhm.
So I think this is kind of something crazy that's recently happened. One of our members, they've had some family things going on, and they've had to cancel some coaching sessions.
Mhm.
And you know, they were really apologetic about like, I'm so sorry, I have to cancel this. And I knew it was going on because they've let me know. And I was like, this should not be your concern.
Mhm.
Like, I don't care about that. I was
Mhm.
like, you are part of the Tab family. What do you need for your family?
Mhm.
What do you need for your business? Are you staying healthy? I was like, that's what I care about. Right now, I care about the life and the health.
Mhm.
Business is fine. I know it's fine. What can we as your Tab family now do for your life and your health?
Mhm.
They were just like, oh my gosh, like this is so helpful.
Hmm.
Place for them to turn. And they are very separated, like they don't have this identity crisis, but just the fact of having a support group for them to know and understand that
Hmm.
is
Yeah,
very important.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's probably one of the number one ways to get out of this identified identity crisis. First, you have to recognize it.
Yeah.
And two, to have a support group of people. Doesn't have to be a tab group. I mean, we would love it to be a tab group. If you're an
Sure.
entrepreneur and you're looking to join tab, we love it. But it can be the spouse, the best friend, the kid, the people at church, whoever it is, there to help you with it.
Yeah.
So I think those are like the two main ways to just, you have to identify it. Then you have to have people there to support you to keep you out of that and going
Mhm.
back in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's right on, spot on. You definitely have to, number one, acknowledge that you have that, and definitely have any plan and people in place to
Mhm.
help you with that. Yeah, good wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, I got some old man wisdom too.
Yes,
I
you
got-
do. That was good. I'm gonna
Great.
give you that. I'm gonna give you
Thank
some
you.
credit.
I appreciate that. You know, but we are coming up on time
Mhm.
for this. So, Mickey, do you have any old man wisdom to share on us about this
Man,
identity crisis?
man, we really hit on it a lot. And you right at the end, with your last bit of young old man wisdom that you passed on there was really good. But I think the old man wisdom that I would give you is that, number one, your business is not your life. You need to separate the two. You still got to have a life. It does you no good to have this $1 billion business and no life, because that is your life. You need to separate it. Don't forget that you have other things to do in life. Enjoy life. And if you're always working, you're not going to enjoy life, because life is short.
That's true. That's some great wisdom. I love that. So, well,
You don't
thank you.
get this in thinning hair by, you know,
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the grays, just not the thin. You know,
it'll come, buddy. Don't you
yeah,
worry
I
about
know
that.
it'll get there. Just biding my time.
And then when it does, all the jokes that you've given will be coming back.
Yeah, I'm just hoping you're way too old. You'll just forget
I
all
will
of it.
not forget.
Yeah, you're probably recording all of this right now.
This is recording. You think I will? No.
Yeah, I know. You won't. You'll watch this like 80 years from now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like Mickey kind of broke it earlier in this podcast, our next topic will be on the imposter syndrome, and that's going to be another good topic. It kind of goes with this one quite a bit. We've touched on it a little bit, and there's going to be a little bit more to it that we're going to really dive into. But if you guys do have any ideas or things you want us to nail down, talk about, digest, whatever it is, please let us know. Hit us up with some comments on these podcasts, or send us an email at info@tabemeraldcoast.com. And we will be sure to get back to you and take these ideas, suggestions, run with them as long as they're appropriate enough for us to talk about, and we will have some fun with it.
Yes.
So, yeah, but that is all we got. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you have not followed or subscribed yet, please do so at the bottom. We appreciate that. It's awesome. And we will see you guys next time.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emerald Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.